Hello. Welcome everyone to JLABTV. I am JLAB and this is Football Manager 2021, the Youth Academy Challenge save with Siena. We are about to start our 27th season at the club and the 28th season of the save. Because we failed to get to the top 8 of Serie A last season, we have to play in the 3rd and 4th qualifying rounds of the Coppa Italia to reach the games in the competition we almost won last year. So I'm thinking, I think we can get to the final again this year, maybe. We've got Empoli in the first game of the season, but we've had a few transfers, both for staff members coming in and out, and for players leaving us on loan or permanently to talk about. So let's talk about them right here and now. As you know, when we brought Barbini in, we got rid of an under-18s coach. That coach was Alessio Castelli, who has got his Continental Pro license. Honestly, it made sense to let him go, because he's already got his Continental Pro license and wasn't going to get any better. So as much as it paid me to say, yeah, you need to go, I think it was the right call to let him go and to unleash him out into the world where he can get potentially a managerial job. Apparently he's got no long-term or short-term plans for the future, so hopefully he gets a role soon, because I hope he really does produce his goods. What I wasn't really expecting was one of my under-18 physios to end up leaving us for Athletic Bilbao. So he is now an actual physio for an actual team, not just an under-18s physio. He's actually gone to La Liga as an actual physio for a decent team in Bilbao, and I think he's got a good job there, so fair play to him. The opportunity came up, I tried to re-sign him, he said no, I'm going to La Liga to be a physio at one of the best teams in the country, so can't complain, made sense for him to go. Now I will be honest, I was hoping I wasn't going to lose any scouts, but Nicolas de Freya did leave us for Paris Saint-Germain. It made sense that he's gone to the team that has won Ligue 1 for the last 19 straight seasons, even if they have lost their second game of the year. Well, honestly, it's Paris Saint-Germain. If they don't win the championship again, it'd be amazing. But the fact they haven't got the best facilities is a little concerning to me. We also lost Joey Zenson as a scout for Inter Milan. I mean, they're one of the best teams in Italy, so it made sense he'd want to leave us for them, so at least he's honest. I did lose Ricardo Silva to Inter Milan as an under-20 physio, so again, makes sense. Disappointing to have lost Ricardo Silva, but again, I'm not upset because it made sense for him to do so. We also lost Lars Engels to Juventus, and this one hurt a little bit, but at the same time, he went to Juventus. He were Serie A champions. I don't think I can really begrudge him. He only was with us for a year, so again, not the end of the world. We also lost Tito Luigi Papini to Napoli as a scout, so he was with us for just 1 year after we poached him from Perugia, and yeah, 62 years of age, made sense for him to want to leave actually, so I'm not begrudging him at all. No, really I'm not. So what I have done is bought Mike Meritic as the under-18s physio, which honestly, I was surprised I was able to get him, but apparently he had been with our club since he left Empoli in 2046, which sounds so weird to say when it's only 2021 in real life. We also managed to get Dan Timmer from the Trophes. He'd been their head physio for 20 years, and now he's our under-20s physio. So, welcome Dan. We also managed to bring in Javier Sanz, and I don't know about you, but this guy might be pretty good at his job, except for the adaptability, but honestly, 20 and 20 and everything else, I think he's pretty good as a scout. We managed to bring in Sebastian Hotong from Werder Bremen as a scout. He'd been there for 35 years, and now he's with us for what will probably be his last role before he retires, so good for him, I suppose. So I've got a list of players I have released for this season, and you might recognize a few of them. Matteo Paro, he's now at Chief of Verona. We've got Gabriel Ferri, he's not got a club yet. Supposedly, of all players, has gone to Rostov in Russia, so fair play, he's gone to Russia there as a Tunisian international. Baranak has not got a club yet, he was never really playing for us. Carboni, remember him? He got 13 goals for us. He hasn't got a club yet, and he was never going to be good enough in the long run, unfortunately, as we got better and better. Ivo Lupi has gone to Venezia, and yes, I think it's a good move him, I really do. Federico De Angelis actually scored for us a few times, and he is without a club now. He did score, yeah, it was just the one goal, not multiple times. He got one goal and then never got back in the first team. He's never good enough, and I honestly think it made sense. He loves big matches though, and is consistent, so give him a chance to other teams in the lower leagues. Dennis Bronin, never really in my first team plans, wasn't good enough, made sense to let him go. Fabio Di Biasi, remember him? he has some good stints for us, didn't he? He's now at Padova, and he did score 1 goal for me in 14 appearances, so he definitely wasn't without at least 1 moment of glory for us. He's just never good enough to keep us in the long run, so I probably should have stopped him sooner, but what can you do? Remember Van Ginkel, I don't think ever played for me. Did he ever play for me? I don't think he ever did. Oh, he played 1 game for me from the bench. That's literally all he did. He's got no club now. He's not wanted either. And the last player we got rid of was this guy. He's got decentish potential, but I don't think it was ever going to be good enough to really make an impact for us, so it made sense to let him go. We've also made some moves in the transfer market to sell players. Christian Conte's left us for Vittorio Setúbal, so wasn't good enough for us anymore. Only 2-star. They wanted him. I said, okay, you're willing to pay how much? 74,000. Was that a lot of money for a player that was in our first team for many, many years and played over 300 appearances for us? Maybe not, but he's already playing for them in the second tier of Portugal, so it makes sense why he's gone there. But you've got to say, I think I held him for too long, if anything, so it's my own fault for keeping hold of him for too long. But at the end of the day, he's now in Portugal. He's having a good life. Cataluso is in Cremonense on loan this year because they got the Serie A. Honestly, this is probably the best move for him because he gets to experience Serie A for a team that is going to struggle. And it also makes him appreciate the fact that we are a better team and he can have a good time. Matteo Magni also is a player that will need to get first experience in the future. But this guy, if he develops as much as I hope he will, then he could be our first choice goalkeeper when he comes back. That's me being hopeful. He's only a Serie B player and Cremonense are expected to be rock bottom this year. But if they do well, it's a good season for him and a good move. Roberto Novello. I don't think I'm going to keep hold of him, but I couldn't get rid of him, and he's now on loan to Cremonense again. So another player who's actually had Serie A experience during this run as of late, because he was at Brescia for I think 2 years, 2.5 years, 1.5 years. Yeah, 1.5 seasons he was there for, and he got experience there. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't good enough to keep them up last year. But he's now at Cremonense. He's never been out of Serie A, which is amazing when you realise that's the case. Look how many games he played for me this year. And then you realise he's only a Serie B player, and I probably should not have played him at all, but he's got first team experience. He's getting first team football. It made sense to me. I've also sent Mohamed Hati out on loan to Tanana, who once upon a time were a nightmare for me in the Liga Pro leagues. Yeah, this guy is only good enough to be a Liga Pro player, but he's got 4-star, 5-star potential. If he gets the football I think he'll get, which he's already got in the Coppa Italia Liga Pro competition, then hopefully he will develop and get better and better. I think he needs first team football, and this could be the opportunity he can get to get that first team football to develop to the player I hope he can be. Yes, the facilities are not amazing, but it's still good enough to develop a player, as I can tell you from personal experience, that you don't need the best facilities to develop a player. First team football is what he needs right now. He turns 18 this month. It's a good move for him, I think, personally. Oh yeah, Francisco Diaz sent out on loan to Cremonense as well. So I've really loaded up Cremonense with players of mine in a bid to help them get survival. I should not have given him a new contract. He's only good enough for Serie B. I tried to sell him. No one's interested. So I decided, you know what? I'll send you on loan to someone in our division to help them out. I don't think they can play against me, but it gets him first team football. And given that Desegni is also better than him now, in every sense of the word, I feel, at this point, because let's be honest, Dai is 27, Desegni is only 17, and he's already this much better than Dai. Actually, Dai's 28, so that's even worse. So Dai I need to get rid of. Desegni is the first choice of the future in that position. And then you realise, if I was to compare him to Calandra as well, you're not going to have a good time, are you? So let's compare him to Calandra as well. I mean, it's not really a contest, is it? Dai's been in here for too long. I should have got rid of him years ago, and I'd given him a 4-year, 5-year deal, but like an idiot. I am such a moron. We sold Natali to Lecce for 155,000. Never played for me, but I thought it was a good move to make, and it was good to bring money in. Even if we didn't need it, it was just good to get the guy out and to let him thrive at another club. Federico Tortelli's out on loan again. He's only a Serie B player who's only going to be good enough to be a leading Serie B player, so this is my way of trying to get rid of him. He's got 1 year left in his contract. He'll be released at the end of the year, I think. So the fact that 3 stars only a Serie B player is concerning for me as a striker, but hopefully he can get some first team football and develop, because he's been in Serie B for the last year. I don't think he was there the year before, though. Was he there? No, he wasn't there the year before. So 2 Serie B seasons, 8 goals in every year he's been out on loan. So hopefully he can continue to do that. I mean, that season was just phenomenal. I don't know what he was eating that year, but He's never been able to replicate that for me, and I'm disappointed in that. We let Fronosa out on loan. He's not good enough, so it makes sense. So we let Vanucci go out on loan. Now, he's just turned 18. I think he needs experience outside of our place to really develop. And yes, he's 3.5 stars here, but 4.5 stars there. I think going on loan to Taranto when he's only a Liga Pro player is a good move. Apparently, he's only going to be good enough for Serie B player. I hope that that's wrong, because Taranto have actually got decent facilities. And how they got a 30,000-seater stadium, yes, they're going to use 12,000 of that, is a very impressive situation. But they've got decent facilities. It made sense to let him go out on loan. Yes, they've been fighting relegation for the last 2 years, but hopefully they can develop and get better and better. And also, he's been used there, so he's not the best of times, but he's been used there. Also, we let Carrera out on loan. I remember being very excited about this guy, and he's just not developed, and his potential is kind of shot down the toilet. Yeah, he's a Serie B player, but he has potential to be a Serie A player in the future, so hopefully the 6'2" winger, who could be a striker, gets better, and his personality improves. The low self-belief personality is a nightmare to deal with, and kinda needed to do better. He's been out on loan to a few places. We did use him once last year. I don't know why I kept him around last year, but we sent it on loan this year to Serie B. Didn't give him the game time he needed, so a loan spell again for him would be good in Serie B. Russo is a very confusing player for me because I think he's got good ability but has never been able to show it. He's a Serie B player who can be a Serie A player, I feel, but he's never been able to get out of Liga Pro in terms of actual location to go to because no one wants him. It's annoying because I think he can definitely get a better move, but I can't seem to find him a good move, and it's a very frustrating situation to be in. We also sold this guy for 220,000 to Spezia. I think I've ripped them off personally because I don't think he's ever going to be good enough to be what they think they pay for him. He's a perfectionist, yes, but 220,000 for a guy who's only this good? I don't know what they were smoking, but they must have seen more potential than I did because he's not good enough to be in my team at all. And when they came with the offer, it made sense to get rid of him. It really did. I also let Claudio Ruggieri go out on loan. He needs the first team football. He's 18. He's a Liga Pro player right now who could be a Serie A player in the future. And he's in Liga Pro right now. So if he gets the first team football, that's great news for us. It really is. Hopefully he gets the experience and hopefully he can improve under their run and their reign of terror. But yes, as we look into the new season in Serie A, we have gone down in prediction. We're down to 14th. And then you realize that the top 12 are now 50-1. The season and the division has definitely become a tougher place to survive in. And has become tighter in terms of the fact that they are actually better and better now, which is remarkable when you realize that's the case. Yeah, I don't know how it's gotten this close outside of the top 10. I don't know how the top 12 can now look around and say, yeah, we could probably be teams to fight for European football. I mean, do you know we got European football last year, so I guess that makes sense for them, and they were actually able to spend money and bring players in, but for us, it's not ideal to be in this situation. Also, Cremonese, despite loaning for other players who will make their first team in the season preview, are still bottom. Yeah, their manager has been there for 6 years. I think he'll be leaving at the end of the year, either retire or whatever reason else, but we sent 3 players over there, and they don't look like they're going to get a good season out of them. I feel sorry for them, I really do, but it's just one of these years, isn't it? Still, we're going to take on Empoli. We're going to hope to beat them. I think we can beat them. It's just a matter of making sure we don't do anything stupid, you know? But again, it's just one of those situations where, you know, oh, we can do this, we could do that. I have my lineup that I really want to use. And yeah, Van der Lucia's playing because Ailu's injured. Ailu got an ankle ligament damage and he's out for 2 to 3 weeks. He would be starting normally. So that's a thing. They want to play Rossi there. I don't want to play Rossi there because I don't think Rossi's good enough anymore to really be in this team. In fact, I should probably look to sell him looking at this, which is terrible when you realize that's the case. But then you realize just how good my team is and just how much the team will struggle. I should probably sell him. He's only got 1 year left in his contract. Should I get rid of him? I'm going to see what I can get with him, like offer him out and see what happens. So we'll find out if that's the case. We've got players coming back. Mangoni's back this year because I didn't loan him out. I got Corey Ames on the bench. Yes, he's going to be on the bench for this game because he's gotten better potential and he can be a DM. I think he could be a good DM for us. It's just a matter of making sure we don't have a bad situation. Di Luigi starts with Margiotta on the right, which is a little concerning that Margiotta is now only 2.5 stars, but Isaac Ashan is actually better than him in that position. That is slightly surprising. So let's not make you that. Let's make you... yeah, let's not make him in that situation. What I love about this Italian league is the fact you can have 10, 12 substitutes. Also, if you can hear a fan now, I apologize. I'm actually getting really warm. It's for some reason warm in September. I wish I knew why. But yes, this would be our lineup because Obot has also gotten injured. I think he's injured. Yeah, he's injured. So he's out for 5 days. He's passed the fitness test. I'm not using him because I don't want him getting injured. So, Maturiti in goal. Margios on the right back position. Polino, Brunet, and Di Luigi, the other three defenders. Vandalucio in the DM position. Calandra in the box-to-box. Los Chievo as the Mazzala. Yes, I know, that's a surprise to some of you, but the second he's also suspended, so that's why I'm not playing him there. It's a problem. We've got Messina, who can play in midfield. He's 21. What do I do with him? Actually, I'm going to let him out on loan, I just realised. But yes, he needs some first team experience as well. We've got Luca Frazzone, who will be getting first team football this year. If I don't give him first team football, he will not develop the way I want him to. He'll be the box-to-box on the right-hand side, so that's where I'm using him. And Lucievo can also play there too. So I think that Lucievo is a great player for us in the backup kind of position because he can develop and he can play in both positions on the wings. So yeah, he's definitely good for that. Viatina starts on the right wing, Corella starts on the left wing, and Iferat starts as a striker. That's our starting lineup today. Let's see what we can do against Empoli, who we should be beating in the Coppa Italia third qualifying round. We have a highlight. Lucievo finds Corella. Corella can play in the middle, finds Lucievo, who I have a lot of faith is going to do a lot of good things for me. Di Luigi, Iferat, Splots, Calandro's goal, 1-0, 2 minutes in. We're already in front. We knew this could be a good game for us. We just didn't realize it would be this good. And that is his 50th goal for the club, which you just saw on the bottom of the screen as well. But Calandra, 2 minutes in, 1-0. Good start for us against Empoli. This is a full strength squad, I know, but I want to go through and get to the finals competition again. I really do. We definitely feel like an actual Serie A team now, which is very, very nice to say the least. So we generally feel like we belong in this division now. And that is useful to say the least. Brunet, Vandalucio, Lucievo plays it forward. Iferat, Corella, and I'm so excited about Lucievo because he did so well with Academic in 2 straight years. Margios shot blocks. But Lucievo, I will need to talk about later because he's very exciting to me. Mengoni loses out to Calandra, finds Iferat, who should score this. Oh, he's missed it. That should be a goal. That's a terrible miss. Throw to us. Margiotta takes it. Here's Viatina. Viatina has found Margiotta. Here's Calandra. And Viatina has somehow missed. That is 2 shots we should be scoring with. So despite the 1-goal lead, we have been dominant in this game. And if we don't win this game, it would be a bit of a shock. It really would be. We've got a throw. If we don't win by more than 1 goal, then we've done something very wrong. Or if we don't win at all, as Mengoni's in, should be safe. The fact that that's been forced to make a save is a bit concerning, actually. So we're through to the next round. I will acknowledge this was not as good as it should have been. Should have won by more goals with an XG of 2.65. The fact we've not got more than 1 goal is remarkable to me. The chances we missed were honestly sitters. So yeah, through to the next round. Not the end of the world. Ah, hello. I was trying to sell this guy as well. And I'm going to be honest, I'm willing to sell him for this price. 57 grand. Rossi as well. I am going to be honest, I am willing to sell him. Both. Yes, they want 13 grand, but honestly, that's half the wages I'm paying right now. So let's accept both offers for Rossi because I don't think he's good enough for me anymore. And we're going to go with that. But we're going to talk about the fact we've got Roma next round too because Roma are still in Serie B. They did not get promoted. This could be a difficult tie for us actually, but we're going to do this on my birthday. So there you go. We have the home tie and there you go. Still, let's talk about some of the players we do have right now. Lorenzo Lucievo may not look like the best player in the world, but on loan in Liga NOS, he was really good. A 7.19 rating and a 7.04 rating with 18 goals and 20 assists in those 2 years. I think he's kind of found a place he can belong. They tried to get him back on loan this year, but I kind of said no because I genuinely wanted to have him in the first team, in and around the first team to give us some good performances. That's a good sign. And Lorenzo, I genuinely believe, is a good player for us. Is he going to be a world-class player? Probably not, but he's definitely got the ability to be a good player for us. And Vincenzo De Luigi might be the best player we've ever had now. Legitimately, is now considered a leading Serie A player in our reports. And I think he's got no weaknesses, which is amazing. I think the only issue I'd have is his crossing, which I'm actually starting to train him in to try and improve. But if I was to play him as a wing back on support, I'd need to improve his crossing and his dribbling. But everything else, I think he's good. He's now considered a leading Serie A player, and he's got a 4-year deal left. He's had clubs wanting his signature. I've turned them all down. And if I was to offer him a new contract, we've got this issue now. So, 4 years to improve the squad enough so we match his ambition. Can we do it? I like to think we can. But you never know. It could be against us. It really could be against us. And I'd rather not be in a situation where we have to worry about this sort of stuff, you know? I'm actually going to have to register Mangoni. I just realised this is slightly awkward. Mangoni, you are in the... We've only got 18 players listed, by the way, for the league, which tells you just how little we need to worry about the ages and such. So, yes, good stuff for us. Good stuff. We are going to end this here, though. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. Hope you guys like and share this video. And that you subscribe to the channel. It really does help me a lot. Let me know, actually, what do you think is the most exciting part about our team? And who do you think is our best player outside of Di Luigi that we have for potential? Because I'm very excited for the team that we have right now. I think this legitimately could be our best ever team. And I'm curious to see if you think we should aim for top half despite being predicted to finish in 14th because of the fact it's only 100 odds. Like, we are only 117 off for the odds to be in the top 7 or top 8. Do you think we should aim for the top half or for the top 7? Or do you think we should be content with mid-table? Because I'm okay with mid-table, but I want to avoid relegation. So if I get 10th place, I'll be happy with that. But if I get 8th place as well, I'll be amazed with that. I'll be very happy with 8th place, but I don't mind where we finish. Should we also aim for the Coppa Italia this year after getting to the final last year? Let me know your comments down below. I'm curious to hear about it. And sorry for not having the video the last 2 days. I've not been feeling well, so it's just one of those things, sadly enough. But either way, until next time, goodbye, and well, good night.